This popcorn-style review contains scenes from another video. Mahou Shoujo Lyrical Nanoha, the actual start of the franchise. I've heard that the Triangle Heart connections aren't intended to be part of the actual, series. They're not in canon for the Nanoha universe, but I don't see any reason why they couldn't be. Maybe there is, a hard reason, but it doesn't seem... And there's still, the incestuous angle between the two eldest siblings that's, implied in the first season of Nanoha. So I don't see why it can't be connected, considering Earth doesn't fucking matter in this franchise anyway. But the basic idea is when a magical ferret boy on another planet fucks up, he ends up breaking a magical artifact and it showers its pieces all over Earth. And I'm trying to remember if she found one of the pieces. I think she may have. A young 9-year-old Nanoha acquires one of the pieces for this magical item, and she gains the ability to use magical powers, and she teams up with the ferret boy to acquire all of the pieces. It's a very, basic magical girl plot, girl gets magic powers randomly, has cute familiar, finds magical artifacts, you know the deal. Nanoha, as it turns out, is an incredibly skilled mage, even at a young age, and when they say how skilled Nanoha is, they say later on in the series that she's an A-ranked mage. They would classify her as an A-ranked mage at 9 years old. The full gravity of that sentence is whatever, who cares? But the franchise as a whole has a habit of actually de-escalating the power. So, from season 3 onward, every season, the villains and the primary cast get weaker and weaker. And as this gap starts to form, you begin to appreciate just how strong Nanoha is at age 9, because at age 9, from the latest series, the latest season of the show, a 9-year-old Nanoha could kill everyone in the entire cast by herself. And we're talking about people that are 15, 16, 19, and she could easily have just soloed them from season 1 onward. It's a really weird power de-escalation that this franchise has. But back to season 1, Nanoha, while she's finding these pieces of this magical artifact, she encounters another magical girl named Fate Testarossa, and they get into a fight, and I believe Nanoha loses the first fight, but they become more evenly matched as time goes on. And you come to find out that Fate is working for her mother. I want to say her name is Precia. Working for her mother, who is an archmage or something. I forget the term they use. She's an incredibly powerful magic user. Possibly the strongest magic user that we've seen in the franchise. No, probably. Well, she goes down pretty easy. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, she's working for her mother, who is incredibly abusive. Abusive to a comical standpoint. There's a scene where Fate is just tied up, kind of crucified, but not the aggressive crucifixion, tied, crucified. And her mom's just whipping her with a bullwhip, which is fucking crazy. And obviously, her mom's a piece of shit, but, the reason I say it's, almost comical is that's, so over the top, that it is sort of unrealistic. Not to say that I'm not sure that there have been children hit with bullwhips, but it's really far as far as child abuse goes. But anyway, yeah, so she's doing it to help her mother, and her mother is trying to find a way to resurrect her dead daughter, Alicia. And it turns out that Fate is actually just a clone of Alicia, which is going to come up more later. But yeah, so Fate's a clone of, her dead daughter, and so she fucking hates Fate because it's not her actual, birth daughter, who died. But while Nanoha and Fate are fighting, they end up creating, a dimensional rift, because of how hard they're going at it, because they're both super fucking strong, even as, 9-year-olds. And it ends up getting the attention of the space military. I used to call them space cops, but they're more like space military. The space military, and the space military is yo, knock this shit off. We gotta, and Nanoha's I would like to help you out, space military. And they're sure, fine, whatever. And they're we gotta stop Fate and her mom. And Nanoha's like, I would like to be friends with Fate. And the space military is like, that seems unlikely. And so at the end of the anime, they defeat Fate's mom, who like dies, and they acquire all of the pieces of the artifact. And Nanoha and Fate like exchange hair ribbons, like overlooking the water, and they promise to be friends. And it's a really cute, well done scene, especially in the historical context of like Nanoha and Fate being anime's longest running gay couple. And you know, there's things you could say about that claim. Like, one, they're never confirmed to be a couple. Look, if you're unfamiliar with the franchise, you'll figure out by the end that they're all but stated to be a couple. Hell, even the voice actresses were like, yeah, they're fucking married. And as for, like, the longest running, I mean, because the Nanoha franchise is still going. Like, there are older couples that have had a few updates, like the two guys in Cardcaptor Sakura, and then there was the Clear Card update, but there was such a large gap between those that I just can't count it. And if there's anything older than, like, Clear Card, and Sailor Moon, I don't even think you can make an argument for that, because Sailor Moon is not still running. Like, they're doing a redo of the series, but I wouldn't count it in that regard, because they're not making new entries into that series like they are for Nanoha. And if there's anything older than Sailor Moon, I honestly don't know. So I could just be wrong about that, but I've heard the claim that it's the longest running gay couple in anime, and I certainly can't dispute it. And I honestly don't think, like, the only other thing I could think of is like something from the 80s that's still running, but I don't know anything that's still running from the 80s that would have a gay couple that's been around for that long. So I believe it is Nanoha. You can correct me if you specifically know something that disputes that, and you know, I'll maybe check it out if I haven't seen it, I guess. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, this like little hair ribbon exchange scene lays the groundwork for the longest running gay couple in anime history, which is pretty cool. And it's a nice little ending to the series. And because Fate's so young, and she was kind of like pushed into it, her and her familiar kind of get like slaps on the wrist, and they end up getting like a couple years probation. And oh yeah, Fate has a familiar named Arf, who they forget about. They'll just forget about her later. She's important for 2 seasons, and then she just disappears magically. Twitch and Discord in the description. I've been Sacrobolic, your envoy of hope. Bye-bye.